Innovations plays a critical role in any business. If you don't innovate as an entrepreneur, you will become obsolete. This is the startup where we inspire businesses. In today's episode, we meet a young entrepreneur, Sylvia Moraa. Sylvia Moraa is the proprietor and director of TECHHUB, a business that is involved in designing, branding, and printing. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Yeah. What is TECHHUB all about?
TECHHUB, we have the group of companies. So we have TECHHUB Services and TECHHUB Holding, which has 4 trade names.
So it's an umbrella.
It all originated from TECHHUB Services. From my passion as an artist, then obviously with time, digital era comes in, and I took up to graphic design. And from that, I found myself in the printing industry, and it became something that I was interested in doing. So I found my niche in that area. I can design, and that was going to be the plus for it, because if you're a designer and you're able to understand the print industry, it makes your life very easy, because you give quality that can be used across.
Mm-hmm. Now, the business, when was it started?
2011.
2011.
Yes.
So it's still a startup.
You could say so, but when I was still working, we used to trade as Tripes Design Creative on the sidelines, like everyone does, hustle on the side. But I officially quit and rebranded in 2011 March.
With how much capital did you start the business with?
400,000.
400,000. How did you get this amount of money, if you don't mind?
I actually just approached my former boss, and I told him, I've worked for you, you know what I can do.
Wow.
And you know my capabilities, my strengths, my weaknesses. You've been in business longer, so you know more people. I have already a client base. So I need a place, I need solidity. And I was not so good in taking risks. It was very risky at that moment, quitting my job. And he accepted, because I had worked for him and he knew what I could do.
Wow. So you want to tell me your former employer is the one who granted you some capital to start your own business?
Exactly. In exchange for some percentage, of course. Like every business, yeah.
Oh, okay. So he has some stakes in this particular business?
Yes, we just sold out a while back. But yeah, for the past 3 years, we've been partners. Yeah.
Your professional background, and how is it related to the business that you're doing?
Professionally, I've just been a designer through and through. From the time I remember how I knew how to hold a pencil, it was always drawing and drawing. But the thing was, at that point in time, it was not a profession that was so solid. It was either you're an architect or a doctor or whatnot. So I had it rough, especially explaining to my parents, I want to be a designer. And they're like, what the hell is that, you know? And they're like, no, we had a presentation in school, and I think that's where my heart is. First of all, finding a school for that was not so easy, because it was more of a Western thing. It wasn't here so much. And animation, at that time, that's when animation was starting. That's back in 2001, when we were in high school. We used to get career talks. So the principal of Mountain Tank had come to give us, the art students, a talk on what you can do, different areas. I'd already done my own research, because we're encouraged to do that before you do your final choosing of the subjects you're going to take. At least you know what you're strong at, what you want to do, and then from the various talks, that gives you the general guidance. And from there, that's when I was like, yeah, actually, these guys have what I'm looking for. Because 7 years in architecture, oh God, it wasn't happening. So I settled for graphic design, and I was more of I'm more of a realist, so it was an easier thing to do. Yeah.
So you're so graphical.
I am very graphical.
You like perceiving things.
I see it, I'll not forget. I can tell you, you'll tell me a company, I can't tell you where it is, but I can draw for you their logo. That's how bad it is.
TECHHUB, the name TECHHUB. How did you come up with the name?
At that time, in 2011, remember that's the time the techie stuff was coming up. Yeah, even the print industry was now going technological. That's the time the digital machines were coming in. So and it looked like, we wanted a broad name also that you can venture into IT at the same time. And we wanted to be different, Do not print this, print house, print what. That's very obvious. So TECHHUB is the tech side of the print, and we are the hub of all the technology. And that's why now we have the chance of using the same name and still expanding. Because we are also now in the other enterprises, you'll find we have the IT department, the events department. But the event section we want to focus on is the tech side of it.
Currently, what are some of the services that you're offering?
We have the print department of the TECHHUB services, where we do a lot of print consultants. We have printing machines in-house, a few. We actually, if you have the old school reel of photo, you give it to us, we'll pass it through one of our machines and you'll get the digital version of it. You see?
Wow.
That's the digi part of it. Yeah, and we also like branding. When you're looking at the CDs, everyone is just stick something on it. We print directly onto the CD. This is a small machine that can do it, and we have another one downstairs. And we also do the duplication also. So that's the print management. We also do bulk stuff, like calendars at this moment, end of year, office stationaries, all that we do. And then we work in partnership. You also have to be smart in business. At my age, I cannot get 20M to invest in the machines. So yeah, we
But it can be possible.
It is. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you have to look at what is your passion. I'd rather sit and manage from where I am than having an entire go down of machines. The stress that comes with it is not pretty. Let someone else have that. For me, we'll just come, we have our deal, you're part of our group, fine. So our job comes, it's priority. So most of the time you tell me you want something by tomorrow, I can deliver it by tomorrow because I have that cordial relationship with the printer. If you walk in, the rate you get won't be the same rate I get. Because you see, I'm like part of their team. I'm like their sales team. So we work together as a team. So I'll walk to them and I'll say, I need this job by this. These are the specifications of what it's going to be. And yeah, it's a better way of dealing, if you ask me.
Wow. I met you some time back organizing a very powerful event. Oh. Is it part of services that you're doing at TECHHUB?
You see, when you're doing an event, print is always part of that. You have to think how you're going to brand it. Yeah, that's where creations and the tech events come from under the group. That's how we ended up diversifying. We were branding an event in Diani. It was an African event for the Rotary.
Wow.
Yes.
I was there. It was
yes,
a wow.
It was awesome. We were actually, we even have a clip we posted just a while back from the Secretary General to the President, the best branded ever in history of Rotary. Yeah, but because branding is not basically just put this here, put this there. You have to understand your clients, understand what it is they want, what are they communicating, and add value to whatever it is that they want. Because if you walked into Leisure Lodge, you'd think you've walked into a Rotary, office or a zone, because everywhere was branded. And it was not an afterthought. You make it blend so well that if you look at it, you won't even feel like this is someone else's hotel we're at. You feel like you're just at home. And that, I think, was what was best about it.
Does that mean that you advise also your clients?
We actually, most of the time we do it free of charge. When you walk in, what sets us apart? That's one of the things that sets us apart. When you walk in and you tell me, I want a diary. If I was any other printer, I'll tell you, okay, this is a diary, period. When you walk in, I'll tell you, okay, you want a diary. You know, diary, what is your target? Who are you trying to target? Do you want just a person who will put in the appointments, or are you targeting someone who will have to handwrite stuff and take notes? Because you have various things, yeah? There is the A4. If I'm a lady, I will not just do an A4. That's very bulky. I want something I can throw in my handbag. You have to be considerate of everything, yeah? We've actually come up with even something different, like this one. If I'm a chick and I want to go for a meeting, I can just slide my ATMs, my business cards, and I'm done. Wow. I can take my notes, right? I have my pen. I don't have to carry my purse. With this, I can walk to the supermarket, do my stuff,
it's
and have
diary,
everything. And it's at the diary at the same, and it's a planner, right? Wow. So you have to think outside the box, give solutions. It's all about solutions giving. It's not what you ask for is what you get. For me, the client is not always right. Sadly. No, not in a bad way, but the client is not always right in that. I'm the professional here, right? You've come to me. There's what you want, but I will advise and guide you. This is the best way. How much do you want to spend? If you want to spend this much, go for it. If you want to spend this much, go for this. If this is your budget, okay, let's look for another alternative. That's better for you than just me saying, okay, this is what this is.
This is what you want?
You know.
Have
yeah,
it.
Exactly.
Wow. In business, what are some of the lessons that you've learned?
Every day is a learning curve, I must say, because we deal with different clients, and every time you're exposed to a different scenario. The greatest challenge I've had to face and learn is to deal with people.
To deal with people.
Yes.
People management.
Yes, that is. I think it's the toughest for me, because I'll quote someone who said, "Your IQ level is not like everyone else, so what you're expecting is not what everyone else will think." But to me, that's common sense, but it's not common. So I find it very hard trying to calm down to understand that level. With my client, it's easy, but if I'm paying you to do a job,
Yeah.
so it's usually very, very hard when you just don't understand. Why can't you get it right? You know, I think it's because my first job, the theme was do it right first time. So it was always spot on and perfect. You have to be perfect with it. Other than that, planning. Yeah. Planning is key. Looking at worst case scenarios saves you a lot. If a job comes in, I'll assess and I'll know. I'll expect my members of staff to deal with it this way. I know these are the challenges they might face. So when you're doing the debrief, you're like, be very critical. It has to be on this paper. It is needed by this time, because time is of essence. Like we say, we're your 911 imprint. So if you say you need it by tomorrow, we got to make it happen. Come rain or shine, yeah? So you have to communicate very, very well, yeah? And have things documented. Here, if you don't document, if a client says it is approved, I want an email or I want an LPO. Because you come the next day and tell you, I said black diaries, these are blue. What support do I have, you know?
We're in business. Yes. We usually face a lot of challenges. Have you experienced any challenges? Yes.
When I started, you know, like when we started, it was the 400 grand was for setting up. I need a printer, I need a phone, I need a desk, I need this, I need to print the entire stationery. I had the entire budget when I was presenting to my former boss. But then now you start running. The things I was in management, right? I was under the CEO, but you see, they were dealing with rent, whatnot. Now I am here. It is me. And you're thinking, yes, I've done jobs, guys are taking 30 days, but then it's end of month. You have your stack of bills and you're like, where am I going to pay this from? Cash flow is not easy. I can't go back and tell my partner, you know, although there are times I went, and they're like, no, that now became another challenge, like, okay, you can't keep going back. But now it had to be like, this client, if it's a long time, we agree. I have my guys for 15, I have my guys for 30 days, cash on delivery, you know, just spread your risks out that way. That was my lesson 1. Lesson 2, anything you tell someone to do, at least have an idea of what it is, you know, it will save you a lot. If I tell you, I want you to print this, I better understand it. And
first of all, yes, before you communicate.
So that way, if I'm planning my members of staff, telling them, I need this in 2 days, I have understood that it can be done in 2 days, so that you don't also put unnecessary pressure. So if I tell you I need you to go to town and handle A, B, C, D, I know exactly what I'm talking about. If I'm sending you here and there, I know roughly how much it's going to be, how much time it's going to be taking. Wow. I think those are the main. And the first time I wanted to expand, I was looking for finances. Oh God, didn't I suffer. So when you're starting, the bank you start with, be wise in who you're choosing, because those that can give you assistance quickly, asset finance and stuff like that. And then there are people who want you to wait for a pretty long time. So understand before you start a banking relationship. Know who you're getting into this relationship with. Because you know your bank is like a partner. Yes. Yeah? Every money I get, I bring to you. But when I need you, will you be there for me? Yeah, and having that personal relationship, I think, with them also helps a bit. But that was a bit of a challenge because I have a dream. I know if I have this machine, I'm going to increase my sales. But they don't understand what you're talking about, you know. For them, it's just another machine. It's harder for us because it's printing. So for them, a printer is a printer. But if I come and tell you, I want this machine, it's for 5 million, you're not going to see what I'm talking about, yeah? So yeah, it's quite a challenge getting the right. Yeah.
What is your advice to other entrepreneurs watching the startup right now?
Patience. I think patience. The client, give your clients, treat them like VIP, you know, have a personalized relationship. And if you promise something, just keep your word. It's the least you can do. That's why you came and you went to look for work, so you better be ready to work. Hard work is part of it.
When I see TECHHUB Holdings, what is the future for the company?
TECHHUB. We will be so in your face by the time we are done with this expansion plan. Yeah. For now, we have just actually launched Holdings right behind. Under Holdings, we have TECHHUB Creations and we have TECHHUB Enterprises where we want to venture into IT. Creation speaks for itself. It's advertising and branding. Yeah. And then we have tech events. Like I said, I want to focus in events for tech people. Like what recently we did for a South African company. They're bringing in a security software. Yes. So they're coming to Kenya. They don't know anyone. They need to sit and have a business and do their proposals. So we bring the bankers together and bring them. So they get the audience they're looking for, and you get paid, and you walk away. Yes.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. At least today I've learned so many things.
You have. Okay.
Asante sana. Wow, that is powerful. That is, in business, it's not all about money, but how you're creating your relationships with your employees and also your clients. After the break, how they were started. Then later on, we'll be joined by Dr. Manu Chandaria to give us insights for any growing startup.